Okay, so I've been working on this bed hinge mechanism. These aren't the nuts I'm going to use. I'm just out of the nuts that fit onto these bolts right now, so I just use these riv nuts to hold the bolts in place. But basically, I got a hybrid setup here. I've got an L channel of galvanized zinc coated steel that's strong, and then basically these L's represent the edge, the inner edge of the bed frame on each side. Okay, so this, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up putting another board on top of this. Okay, but this board goes underneath the bed frame, and then these it'll get screwed into the side of the bed frame there. But I line this one up with the hole. Okay, and I lined this one here. I had to drill. Okay, but anyway, we have a spring-loaded hinge. Now the spring isn't going to do much. It might make the bed weigh a little bit less when you go to lift it, but not much. But anyway, it's just a heavy-duty commercial-grade door hinge that has the spring inside. So what's going to happen is there's going to be a board underneath the hinge. Okay, underneath this other half, there will be a 2x4. Okay, and that 2x4 is basically going to run the whole length of this piece, but then mounted into the side of that 2x4, the 2x4 is going to be in the vertical orientation, like on its edge. It'll be like, the top of the 2x4 will be screwed into that, okay? Bolted into that, one of the two. But anyway, then back underneath this is where the slider is going to go, and it's going to be bolted into the 2x4. So the 2x4 in this will slide side to side together. And so what's going to happen is there's going to be another hinge over here, underneath here, mounted. And again, it's going to come up through the, what do you call it? L, okay? So it's going to come up through the L, and I'll have to drill another hole over here as well because they're not going to line up. So one will fit, one won't. And yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell. This is a different L than this one over here. And now that I know that this L actually lined up with this first hole with the hinge, I need to find another one of these L's at the hardware store. I forget where I got this, but I need to find another one of these. In fact, while I'm thinking about it here, it's an RT. Anyway, but yeah, it's like a hybrid setup. So the next board that's going to sit on top is to actually lift up the bed frame, like an inch from the bed slats, to lift it up an inch from being right alongside the bottom of the bed frame. That way you just don't see crummy stuff, stuff sticking through the bottom. So anyway, that's the plan up at towards the head of the bed anyway. And then as it goes down, the mattress is actually going to be at a down tilt towards the feet. And then again, if I want to lift the feet up, I can. But the mattress is going to be at a natural down tilt naturally, and you'll see what I mean later. So anyway, the head of the bed will be the high point is what it comes down to. But this should be pretty strong. And the interesting thing here is the weight, the support is going to the bed frame, and it's all just metal, but it's hidden with wood. So out here on the edge, you see we got rounded wood, and you can barely see the metal underneath there. That rib nut will go away, and I can even take an angle grinder to that metal to get it smooth. So the key was to try to hide the metal to where you just don't see it. It's going to be concealed up underneath the bed where it's not easy to see, so the bed still has the wood look to it. But this is going to be very strong because this is going to be the mount point. And so these are 10.9 metric bolts And I can drill out those holes to even bigger bolts yet, but I just figured I'd start there for now. But those are 10.9, which is like a grade 8 bolt. It's a very strong bolt. So anyway, still got to do this side. That's just a placeholder screw. I'm probably going to call it a night for now. Glad I figured that out. I've been brainstorming how to do this because, see, the problem is without metal, the bolts would work their way loose in the wood. The wood would end up splitting. So I knew I had to use the angle, and then once I realized I could line the hinge up with the angle and line it up with this L, it all kind of came together. So there's going to be another piece of wood that goes on top of this that I'm going to router out the center of the wood right here to make room for this, so it just sits on top. And that piece of wood will, I was going to glue it down, but I might not glue it down. I don't know. But I was going to vise it and make it flat with this other piece of wood and just router it out so that this here has clearance in the middle. So anyway, just figured I'd kind of show you how this is working and why it's going to be as strong as it is. Not playing around on this. All right, see ya.